What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the top of the map in the red color. Playing as Oranos. He likes to hang out in Twitch chats. He likes to give everyone a rough time. Or does he? I'll leave that up to you. His name is Grassengroom. His opponent today in the blue color. Playing the mighty, the auspicious, the incredibly attractive in the Marvel Universe, Thor. And his name is IzJustJeff. He can be found playing video games live on his Twitch channel. I believe it's called IzJustJeff. So yes, we have two very fiery competitors here in this competitive mega random group stage match. We'll see how it's going to go. We have a marsh-looking map here, which is not very marsh at all. We've got a handful of elk over here. We've got ourselves a bear over here. This looks to be a fairly low hunt map, if I've ever seen one. We've got ourselves 3 deer, which is quick math, 150, 300, 450. Can't get that wrong. Oh! Never mind. We found some hunt over here as well. So a decent amount of hunt. Very, very close to IzJustJeff as well as these elk. But it's still a relatively low hunt map nonetheless. Grassengroom going to be happy about that one. Jeff going to be cursing the gods, asking them why they have forsaken him right now. As everybody knows, it's impossible to play Norse without infinite hunt. That's what everybody knows. You just know. Everyone. No? Just me? All right. Anyways. Onwards and upwards. Jeff going to be moving forward here. Thor versus Oranos. We also have the dynamic battlefield right in the center of this map with an absolute crazy amount of nothingness here. If I turn the fog of war off, we see couple of boars ready. And if you look at the actual minimap, it's very, very gladiator-esque. This is where we meet. This is where we fight. This is not where you should fight, ladies and gentlemen. The center of the map has nothing. There is nothing to gain by winning a fight in the center. There is nothing to lose by gaining a fight, by winning or by losing a fight in the center. One should not fight in the center of this map. Them be the breaks. Then be the breaks. It's basically a Ghost Lake style map where you can build in the middle. I love it. I love it. I love it. And we'll see how it's going to continue. Oranos versus Thor is a very, very spicy matchup whereby the Oranos player is on a timer for the entirety of the game and the Thor player is playing with life and death for the entirety of the game until they flat out just win by clicking a button or lose by clicking a very different button. Now, if you don't know what that button is, it involves either clicking F10 or clicking in this top right-hand corner and then clicking a couple more times. And you might know what that is by now. If you don't, feel free to comment about how you didn't know what button I was talking about. Both buttons, actually. If you can get both of them right, you will get yourself a grand prize yet to be revealed. So enjoy that one if you receive it. Boom. Onwards and upwards. So, relics on this map, we do have the Wedget Eye and the Pelt of Argus. Now, both of these relics not so good. The Wedget Eye here giving us a negative 10% reduction. A 10% reduction in myth unit cost, and the Pelt of Argus is a +6 unit line of sight. Prometheus 4-SETI coming through for IzJustJeff. I love the 4-SETI in this matchup. It shows a fairly deep understanding of this matchup in that those Hersa getting Hall of Fames become very, very strong units, though you might not want to get Hall of Fames here. You might not want to go Hersa. You might want to place a little bit differently. So we'll see how it's going to go. As everyone getting everything started here, we see the Longhouse coming up for IzJustJeff. As he's now moving on to this back gold mine here. One thing I didn't notice at the start of this game was this is a double gold mine map. So low hunt, double gold mine This is not unheard of. It can happen on Ghost Lake, which is funnily enough the top map that we're currently playing on. But we are seeing military barracks coming up, counter barracks coming up as well for Grassengroom. But effectively, the double gold mine in the main base here for IzJustJeff means that he doesn't have a lot to worry about here. He just has to build really nicely in his base and try not to fight his opponent. Get early watchtowers and just kind of sit in his base here and just accept that he doesn't need map control and try and get a decent heroic age here. We'll see if he's going to be able to do it or not. As the Promethean offspring come in, immediately are going to be losing their life here to the troll who throws the scariest boulders you've ever seen, and the town center are going to be shooting this Promethean offspring down, and there is 2 dead Promethean offsprings as Jeff draws first blood here. And we do see that the elk that were on this location are actually in a fairly large quantity here as the villagers wandering through to eat them all. These Jeff's got to be happy about finding these. I thought it was just 3 at the start. Both players are going to have a decent amount. There's also a boar spawn somewhere here. Where is that boar spawn? There he is, just hiding here, just sitting behind that forest, very, very inconspicuously. I don't think that's going to be a boar we're going to see Jeff going to be eating here. I do love the idea of Hersa throwing Axeman against Oranos here. Jeff going to be attempting to make it work. The idea being that the Hersa can tank for the throwing axeman to deal with those Murmillo. The Hearse can also take out the Promethean, and then you get yourself Hall of Thanes to be able to actually take your opponent down, take those Terma down, because, I mean, at 4.2 speed, it's not quite enough, but if you look at what Hall of Thanes actually does, it gives 1.1 speed, which puts the Hearse up to 5.3 speed, which is enough to dodge those Terma. And if you can dodge the Terma arrows, it doesn't matter what unit you are. You could be a Kopesh, not do any damage. You still do more damage than a Terma does, which is only 4.4 damage per second. So Kopesh, Hersa, Ulfsark, anything, any sort of unit that is moving quickly is going to be having a good time against the Terma. You do see the house getting taken down. Grassengroom with a little bit of mismarker. They're not getting any damage onto the dwarves. The dwarves just going to shoot and scoot all the way over to this top gold mine here as Jeff is going to be continuing along here. We do see the house getting taken down. The Terma going to be finishing off a couple of those Ulfsark though for free, but I think Grassengroom is overstaying his welcome here as he does lose a hero Murmillo here as he's going to be clutching that relic and running away with the tail between his legs here. So we see another raiding party coming forward here for Grassengroom. We don't see a Valor down, but I think a Valor on this location might be forced here as Grassengroom does notice he's not going to be able to make anything happen on that location. Pulling back, we see a couple of those Prometheans coming in. Jeff is at 80 population, Grassengroom at 94 population. This is actually a decent effort here to keep up, only being down 10 population against Oranos at 8 minutes into the game is a big, big win here for Norse, especially now that Jeff has also gotten himself medium infantry. He just has to stick to this game plan. There's no need for him to leave his base as he's starting to move out, taking a fight here. Against Grassengroom. Jeff coming onto the backside here, has a handful of throwing axemen here as well. Grassengroom going to be turning around, not wanting to take this fight just yet as he sees the medium infantry and he's very scared, but reinforcements coming forward. Nearly 115 population here for Grassengroom. Shockwave going down, healing spring going down, and is this going to be enough of an assistance here for Jeff as his troll does get taken out there by the hero Terma. The Promethean taking down, throwing axeman, the Ulfsark trying to move in, getting onto those Terma decently. No armory upgrades for either player. The Murmillo are still mostly all alive as we are just remaining with only throwing axemen here. And not only that, the healing spring is going to be going the wayside of Grassengroom, so all of Grassengroom's units here, which are low HP, can potentially be healed back up to full HP, and Jeff goes from what looked to be an incredibly good position there to being in very, very poor shape, ladies and gentlemen. Jeff, well, I don't know what he can do right now. He needs to get himself watchtowers. He does have a gold mine down the bottom. The villagers over here on these berries, kind of getting away with with murder up on that location, but obviously Jeff has got, Grassengroom's got different ideas here than searching for berries. We will be seeing the Terma trying to take out these gatherers down here as well as they are retreating back. We will be seeing one getting picked off the ox cart here, getting taken down as well. No real safe wood here on this map for Jeff either, as Grassengroom does have to pull out now. But what Grassengroom can do here is either grab a town center like he's already doing, go heroic age if he wants to, spam units, get upgrades, literally any way in which Grassengroom just puts himself further and further ahead here is going to do him very, very nicely. As we're even seeing this Promethean kind of going to town on those human units. One thing you'll grow to learn as you watch more and more Age of Mythology is how much stronger a myth unit is than a human unit. Even the weaker myth units like the Promethean or Automaton are very, very lackluster. Sorry, are very, very strong against human units. It's those heroes that come in that kill them incredibly fast. That is the big problem for those units. As we see Jeff throwing down another house that he did lose. More units trying to come out here for Jeff, going Hersa, going throwing Axeman, going Ulfsark, throwing down another longhouse here. Jeff still has all these berries up here. I absolutely love that Jeff is utilizing that. You can see Grassengroom actually didn't spot his berries, so he does actually have to start farming quite early. So there is a slight chance here for Jeff, as he doesn't have to farm in this game, really. And his opponent is that maybe Jeff can get a heroic age here. Maybe he can get back up to full population so he doesn't just straight get rolled over. And we'll see how this is going to go. There's now Grassengroom throwing down his armor in a very, very precarious position here. This is very easy to get taken down. We're also seeing the units going to be trying to take out these houses on this position. There's the Carabalista getting taken out, and Grassengroom has to pull back. We see the Carabalista turning around, going to start taking out these units very, very quickly here. If you go full infantry, a handful of these Carabalista just does so much damage to the infantry, especially if you have balls of infantry here. And if your opponent has any micro or any awareness of how the Carabalista works and just focuses on the center of a bunch of units, it can do so much more damage. I never see anyone, well, sometimes I do, but very rarely do I see any Oranos or Atlantean player significantly micro their Carabalista in those fights to maximize damage. If you do that, then the Carabalista becomes an absolute beast, and vice versa. If you see Carabalista, you should be alt-Xing your units and trying to gauge which unit is actually getting targeted by said Carabalista and moving units away from the Carabalista in the fight if you can. Right now, Grassengroom is on 130 population. He's getting himself back up to full HP on this healing spring, and really, I think Grassengroom's at 17 villages. It doesn't look like he's building villages from this second town center yet. It's a bit of a mistake, but it doesn't really matter here as this gold mine is about to expire. Jeff will have what looks to be enough resources to get heroic age without needing this gold mine, as Jeff is yet again going to be pushing out, trying to fight against the Norse here. And I think another shockwave is also going to be available, but I do not think that Grassengroom needs this at all. Jeff is giving this game away to Grassengroom with these fights. If it don't work once, it's not going to work the second time. This is the definition of insanity here, as Jeff does tap out in the 13th minute. Grassengroom showing a very, very easy way to deal with an impatient Thor player here. Jeff, he actually played this early game so nicely. The problem for Thor arises on the second gold mine or on a hunt that you are trying to gather, which you really shouldn't be gathering. Those are the problems that Thor needs to overcome in this matchup. The big thing that happened here for Jeff was he has a safe second gold mine in his base. He's snuck the berries, which Grassengroom, I think, didn't even know about. I mean, he knows that they're there, but he wasn't going to search them. He snuck the berries. So there was no need for Grassengroom, sorry, there was no need for Jeff to actually take that early fight, which a lot of the times is nigh unwinnable against Oranos. This is just the way that the matchup goes. I have seen Thor players winning said matchup, and often those compositions come on high hunt maps where you can make Ulfsark en masse with raiding cavalry and that kind of thing. When you're going Herser throwing Axeman, the idea is very, very clear. Your idea is, I'm going for the heroic age, let me get to the heroic age, please let me get to the heroic age. If I don't get to the heroic age, just let me get there, please. That's what the Thor player is saying, and the Norse player in general is saying when they're going Herser throwing Axeman, because it's a very defensive orientated composition, and Jeff just didn't quite realize that in this game. I'm not sure if that's just due to some inexperience or whatnot, but Grassengroom, very nice play, very good adaptation, getting those Caraballister in and just cleaning up the remnants that was this Thor. Gets the first win. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next game.